G'day guys, my name is Trent aka LaxLime, bringing you a draft overview for Season 4 of the Pokemon Global League. It is Season 4, and I'm hoping this team will do well for us, and the Sydney Seakings. I've always made it a playoff in every PGL, and this time I seriously need to take it out. Seriously need to take it. It's my turn. It is my turn. But it all depends on how the team goes, as well as there's a lot of newcomers to the PGL, and a couple of people returning, and it's going to be a tough season, I think. There's a lot of good teams. There's a lot of good players. But basically, if you don't know how the PGL works, basically all your Pokemon are shared up in tiers. S tier down to I think it's E tier now, or rank. Basically, they're all worth different points. You have to have one of each, or a combination of whatever, worth up to 500 points, but definitely one of each to begin with. That probably makes no sense, but you can check it out on the links and stuff below. It's sort of a little bit more explained, and you can see how the tiering system works. But you do have to have an Uber on your team, and then and a Mega, obviously, and then you can sort of work it out from there. So I'm going to show it to you how I didn't draft in this order. However, I knew what I wanted, and I built my team around that based on what had already been drafted and what sort of was already, what was available, and sort of holding off on a lot of picks as well, just because I know that they weren't going to get picked up. So, but I'll explain that as I go through. But basically, there was two mons that I really wanted to use when I started up this team, which was I really wanted to use Menifee. He was an S rank, so an Uber rank in the league, and as well as I really wanted to use Mega Heracross. So both of these sort of need. Menifee's a monster in any league; it's difficult to deal with. But Mega Heracross is a really good mon that's very, very much underused in my opinion. But you need to have a good team to support it to use it well. So I'll just go through the team pretty quickly, but we started out with Menifee. Menifee is a good mon in any league format. It is so good with hydration. And, Tail Glow, if you get a Tail Glow up, it's pretty much over a lot of the time, unless if they really have something to stop it or whatnot. But most people have to really, really plan for Menifee, and it's one thing you have to plan for well, because if you don't, you're in trouble. So Menifee, you can run it any way you want. The best thing about Menifee is 100 base stats all around. So you can run it defensively, special defensively. You can run like sort of a bulky offensive, or anything you want. But it works well. I've seen it run really well in league format, and so the reason why it pretty much is an S rank is because I can't remember. I'm having a mind blank. Gosh. Baby Powder used it really, really well, I think in Season 2 or 2, and we moved it up from there. But Menifee speaks for itself. To be honest, Menifee really, really speaks for itself. So that was my first pickup. I don't actually think I picked up Heracross until, it was about, I can quickly look it up actually. It was, but I wanted to talk about these because it sort of makes more sense when I talk about the rest of my team. I really didn't think anyone was going to take Mega Heracross at all. It was one of those outside their picks that I didn't think anyone would pick up. It was actually my 6th pick, so overall that was a fair way down. 5th pick. But I did pick up Heracross. Now, Heracross skill link with 185 base attack is just absolutely insane. Just crazy, phenomenal amounts of power. It is slow, and this is why it doesn't get used very often, because it's slow. However, there's ways around that. And if you put it jolly or whatever, it can get to a decent speed. But it's sort of more of a bulky. I think it's more of a bulky mod in my opinion, and you should run it more bulky. I think that's just sort of what it's designed to be. When knowing that I'm picking Mega Heracross, you kind of have to be really careful with what you pair it with. One, he needs speed control and real speed control stuff, and sort of real support, just to get it off the line, and to be paired with mons that will support it well. So my next pick, which is actually my second pick I made, was Klefki. Klefki is good. Klefki is really good with Prankster. It can be used really, really well. It's got that Prankster Thunder Wave. It's got those spikes. All of those things help really with Mega Heracross putting some work in. Ayuku last season used it really, really well, and it was a lot of inspiration for me to pick it up, because I've considered it in league format before, but I've never really used it, and it's an annoying thing to deal with. I remember when I was versing Ayuku, it was just mind games the whole time with what he was going to do with Klefki. I thought it worked really well, and I really wanted to give it a go. He's just a supporter. Like, Klefki is just your support mon, your cleric, or whatever you call it. And it does a good job. It's really, really useful. And it's got some good moves. It's got a good move pool where, you can really do some crazy things with it. Like, Switcheroo can come in handy, for instance. You don't see it used much, but like a Draining Kiss actually recovers 75% of the health that you're dealt. So if you can get it on something that's super effective, it gets your health back up pretty high. It's got a decent move pool, and I'm a big fan of using that line screen and reflect, and having a Prankster user actually doing that makes a lot of difference. It will make a significant amount of difference. I knew that I needed to sort of pair with these guys with Menifee more. I felt like I needed a Zapdos or a sort of a flying something that can take, like a bulky something that can take electric moves and also flying moves, and Zapdos sort of fit that perfectly. So it ended up being my third pick. And also you can run static on it now, which sort of helps with that 30% contract of paralysis with Heracross. But Zapdos is good. I believe I've used it in another season before, but it's been a little while. And it's a good mon because it's fast. It's got a lot of special attack, and you can also run it really, really well defensively as you're you do your roosting and all of that sort of stuff. So Zapdos was really a no-brainer on this team. I felt like it was a no-brainer on this team anyway, and yeah, I thought it'd really, really work. The next sort of things that I was thinking about is I really need something to take fire attacks for Heracross as well, and Klefki. I really wanted to draft a Sticky Webber, but Galvantula is the only really good Sticky Webber, and I initially thought that would work with Menifee. However, when I really thought about it, it just didn't seem to blend on the team well, and I decided against it, and I decided to go for Zapdos instead. I think Galvantula was probably gone anyway by the time it got around to me, because between picks, there was, a good 20-something picks, I think, before it got around to you. What's that? 6, 12, a bit. I think there's 16, so yeah, it was a decent wait to actually get to your picks. So a lot of things were always sniped, and it was so easy to get sniped, to be honest. The next off, Arcanine, Intimidate, Flash Fire. It does well. It plays those mind games with Heracross really, really well. So if you've got running the Flash Fire and they go for the fire move, you can send out the Arcanine, and you're sitting pretty, really. You're sitting pretty. Arcanine works well. I think it's a great mon. It works well as that defensive mon. It works well as an attacking mon as well. You can run it both ways, especially or attacking. It's got high enough stats for you to do that. So that could be really annoying and really good. So I felt like it was a good choice for the team. It was my fourth pick because I kind of really wanted to get it done. Next of all, we did have Roserade. Now, Roserade wasn't picked till quite far down. It was my 8th overall pick, and I wasn't too concerned that this was going to be taken. For some reason, I just thought it didn't really match on anyone's team, and no one would really pick it up. So I wasn't really concerned about picking it up, but it was something I had in my mind, sort of from the get-go, because it also helps with the grass and the poison stab work really, really well at taking out those fairies, especially those bulky fairies, and just a lot of other threats. The grass is always really useful. Now, I like using Roserade. It's one of my favorite mons that I use in higher tiers when I do play higher tiers, because I find it works really, really well. It's got a decent move pool, and it's got a really good coverage that you can use. Like, it also works well as sort of a, like, especially defensive mon. Like, it's got decent special defense. You can still run it that way. I know that, like, it's got a few weaknesses and everything, but you can run it away. Like, throw an assault vest on it. You're doing alright. You know, it's got sleep powder. It's got all those aromatherapy stuff. You can work it really well. The favorite thing I do like about it is this Technician. Technician works really well with hidden powers because they're base 60. So it gives that massive boost to it, hidden power, whatever. So it could come in really handy. I know you've all watched, like, the week 1 was up against Equal Players, and he actually had Volcarona on his team. Now, Volcarona was pretty much 100% going to get sent in on Roserade. So just having that Technician boost for a hidden power rock actually made it OHKO it. So it brings it up enough just to be able to take it out if there's like a 4-time weakness or whatever's going on. I was surprised about that because I kind of like sat down and did the calcs and I was like, oh, this is interesting. This could work. Hopefully I'm not giving too much away. So those were sort of the mons that I knew I wanted. I really knew I wanted and I think would work well. Other than that, everything else was kind of what I felt would work on the team afterwards. And because you had so much time between picks and stuff, you kind of really could sit down. Now, I was sort of getting to the point. So, 6th pick, which was after Mega Heracross, because I kind of got a bit nervous that someone would take it, so I did pick it up at my 6th pick. The next is I really knew I needed a Rapid Spinner, and something that was sort of reliable but lower tier. Kabutops was the man. He works really well for what I need him to do. As well, works well with Menifee, with Swift Swim. So if I'm running like the Rain Dance set on Menifee, I can use Kabutops well under Swift Swim because the rain will be up. And, you know, there's a good attack, good speed under rain. I used Beartic a couple of seasons ago under the rain, and it worked really well. You know, it's always an option. When I do draft, I pick a lot of mons that I have a lot of options to use them with. So if I do want to just throw it out there and run a weather team, then I can do that, and it will work. Like I definitely could run a like a rain team on this if I really wanted to. But it's kind of I like to draft mons with options. So I always look at what else can I do with this mon that will work well on the team. And Kabutops fitted it really well, and it did have that rapid spin. So yeah, it was a good pick. And you know, I've never used Kabutops in a league format, but I feel as though it's something that could work really well. And I've always sort of wanted to use it. But we'll move on next. 7th pick was my Uxie. I love Uxie. I seriously do. It's really good to use. I've used it before. I was actually going to pick up Cresselia, but I believe Vinny grabbed it before I did, and I'm not too fussed about that because Cress is really annoying, and I've used it on the MPL, the Major Pokemon League, when I was in it for its first season, and it did me wonders. I ran a Trick Room team on MPL with the MPL, and it was just my Trick Roomer. It did really well. It was a good team. It was a good team. But yeah, Uxie I picked up because I didn't have Cress, but that was fine. Uxie is just that, like, they're solid defenses, absolute solid defenses, both of them. I can run them both ways, and it's just got that utility you really need for Heracross to come over the line. I've already run a Trick Room team. Well, I used it with Trick Room. You know, it's got knockoff and things like that, and it's got really good coverage. It's got such good coverage, and it can take hits for days if it's not being hit by something that's super effective. It can take hits, and which is really good. It's sort of what I needed. I also sort of realized that looking at some of my team, I've got a little bit of like the Earthquake weakness was sticking out. So Levitate did really well for me. So yeah, that's pretty much why I picked it up. I'm a screen user too, so screens work really well with Yuxi, and you know, I think it was a good pick. But anyway, we'll move on to Miss Magius. It was my 9th pick, so between Yuxi and Miss Magius, I actually did pick up Roserade. Another Levitate user, which is good. Miss Magius, I've not used very often. In the past, I have used like the typical nasty plot set that you generally see, which does work well. It's quick, it's fast, it goes through special defense, it's lacking in defenses and whatnot. You know, it can be annoying. It's got Destiny Bond, it's got some other things that work. It's got the Will-O-Wisp if I do want to run it that way. But I thought it was a good one to pick up. I don't know how I'm going to use it yet, really, but it'll be right. We'll work it out. My next pick after that was I needed a C rank just so I could pick up my next Pokemon, which was Snorlax, and I kind of needed something with I was missing Ground Stab and anything Dragon, so you know, Flygon sort of fit that package. It's okay. It's okay, but it was more appealing to me because it does have other things on it that work well in my team, like support-wise. It's got a good attack. It's got decent special attack. You can run some cool sets. I've been sort of looking at it. It does have Defog if I really don't want to bring Kabutops, or if that's sort of the option. Defog doesn't really work on my team because of the Clef Key most of the time, because you know that will be setting up spikes and whatnot. But you know, it's alright. We'll see how we go. I don't really have much to say about Flygon. I think it's gonna do the job I need it to do when I need it to do that job, if that makes sense. But yeah, Snorlax is up next. Snorlax was sort of a pick I wanted when I was about halfway through. It didn't look like anyone was picking it up, so I sort of left it to last. I wasn't too concerned that anyone would take it. I really wanted something that was versatilely able to run defensively, that was bulky, and also you could sort of be a real offensive presence if I wanted it to be. So Snorlax, it's got 110 base, that's pretty good. You can run the old belly drum set, you know, which works well with rest and sleep talk and whatnot. So it was sort of those ones I felt like would work well on the team. It's also got thick fat, which comes in handy with fire types with Heracross. So that was just another reasoning. I feel as though Snorlax will be one of the people that I sort of turn to be on my team a lot of the weeks. It's good. I've never really used it before, so I'm looking forward to actually giving it a go. Last of all, was the Rotom Frost. Rotom Frost mainly, it did have that Volt Switch as well. I felt like I didn't have enough sort of like Volt Switching guys or U-turn. Like I've got a decent amount, but I felt like I needed another one. And it's a decent offensive presence. I really needed something that was ice. I like ice is the best offensive present in this game. It's just got too many weaknesses and it doesn't work well. But like you need I feel as though it's just you need to have something with Ice Stab on your team, because we've got a lot of dragons running around in this, you know. But yeah, Rotom Frost is Rotom Frost. Everyone knows how to use a Rotom, so I won't really bother going on it about that. But this week, by the time this goes up, this week we'll be up against the, what did he change? I think it's the Denver Diglets now. I'll just double check. Denver Diglets, yeah, which is Vinny. We've never beaten Vinny. I don't think we've ever beaten Vinny. I know that he's completely smashed me a few times. So we need to sort of pull off a win. I would like to pull off a win. He's a good player, and we all know that. He's won the GBA. He's won this. He's a good player, and he's going to be a tough call, but you know, I'm still building my team for him, so we'll really work that out. But yeah, that's basically all from me. You know, give me any comments about the team. Just say what you want. Really, it doesn't bother me. You know, and like I'm always up for ideas and suggestions. So you know, always let me know things. If you got any ideas of what I could do or what I could bring or whatever, just let me know. I'm also might leave like a link to my Instagram as well down below. Just you know, I don't post that very often, and it's because I'm mainly busy. And maybe if you have my Instagram, I was thinking that you could at least see what I'm up to when I'm not doing this. But yeah, that's pretty much all from me, guys. Week 2 will be up on the Friday. So please, you know, watch that. It's going to be a good battle. Definitely two. Like he's a good player, and you know, I think I'm all right. So it should be a good clash and hopefully a really good game. But yeah, that's basically all. Thank you guys for watching, and you know, do what you need to do. I'll catch you guys next time.